what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Hopefully, you're doing well on this Monday evening, the night before election night. So, we're not going to talk about election stuff. We're going to talk about Pali football stuff after the intro. So, again, welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a beat! 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 Stop playing with a beat!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice route, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pay.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Another episode of This Week in Pali Football. I believe this is somewhere between, I think this is week 10. Week 10. We'll go ahead and, I think I named it week 10. So week 10 of Pali Football as we recap the wonderful game against Hamilton, and then we're going to preview the game against Southeast because we're in the playoffs. Yes, sir. We're in the playoffs again for a second year in a row with Coach Dylan at the helm. And so, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and bring him on because, we're just going to hop into it. So let's see if we can get Coach in here real good. Think he's ready. What's going on, Coach? How you feeling?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for joining us again. Talk about Pali football. But first, let's go ahead and talk about our favorite baseball team, man. Congratulations to the Dodgers. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that air horn again.
Yes.
Man, it was a wonderful series, man. I'm glad they were able to pull it out and win that last game at home. Did you have a chance to check out Game 5?
I did. I got in about the third inning after practice, and I was on the edge of my seat. Me and my sons were sitting here watching it, and I was yelling. My oldest son was looking at me crazy, and my youngest son was next to me, clapping quietly. But I was running around the house, going crazy and screaming, screaming outside the door and the window. So my neighbors probably think I'm crazy.
Yeah, no, it was a great game, especially being down by 5 points.
Yeah,
baseball, that's a lot, right?
It is. It was funny when something told me he was going to drop that ball. Judge was going to drop that ball, and I was like, either I wanted it to happen or I just felt like it was going to happen. And when he dropped, I was like, okay, now we finally got a chance. And our bats woke up at that time, and it was a great night.
No, it was an excellent night. I was actually helping a friend of mine move some stuff around. So I was waiting for him at the place that I was going to meet him. So I'm in the car watching on my cell phone, watching it. And then, finally, after I finished helping him out, I had it on the radio, and I think I still had it on my phone. And I knew that I was behind because, that latency on the cell phone,
right.
And so as I kind of pulled into where I live, I heard the fireworks go off, and I was like, "Okay, they must have went ahead and did the dog."
Yeah.
Those dudes, had the fireworks ready, it was a wonderful comeback, and I'm glad they were able to get our 8th World Series. So shout out to the Dodgers. Okay, Coach. So let's go ahead and hop into this Pali football stuff, man. First of all, congratulations. Second full complete season at the helm. You finished the regular season 8-2, 4-1 in league. So let's kind of, recap and relive the season if we can. Tell me some of your favorite moment or moments of the regular season so far.
Every win is my favorite moment. The one win wasn't better than the other. Just, the season goes by fast, but it's still a grind. And anytime we can get a win, no matter what the opponent is or how much better we are, it's still a good feeling. So, but I think for Notting Hills, I would have to put at the top just because we got the trophy back. That was a great feeling, and I probably would put that number one. But like I said, every win is a great feeling. But feeling that trophy again and feeling bad all year, being the first one in 10 years to give it back, and you know, being at home, hosting it up in front of our fans and everybody, that was probably the highlight of the year.
Yeah, it was called, it's what you call vindication, right? I mean, they, um, the year before last, I don't think we played I think it was because of fire, right? And
Right.
so, yeah, just being able to go out there and capture it and win. And actually, wasn't it their home game, but we decided to play at Pali?
Yeah, it was hot. It was supposed to be like 110 out there, so
Yeah,
luckily they moved it to our home, and you know, I, it'd have been a great feeling to get it back on their home turf, but being at home was always a good feeling. So either way, like I told Steve Galuzzo, I don't care if we play this on the moon. I just want to play the game and get that trophy back. So
absolutely.
I loved it.
No, it was a great win. And then, since we talked about your favorite moment or moments of the season, let's go ahead and your worst moment of the season or moments of the season. And I might know the moment or moments, but go ahead. I will let you talk first, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that Brentwood loss was hard in overtime, and even the Venice loss are probably um, equally devastating. We had both a chance to win it in the last second, the last play of the game, and we on the field goals and didn't get it done. And I was listening to your rival always hurts. I told the kids, I said, Venice is a bigger rival than Brentwood to me because I've always been a rival of Venice growing up, going to Santa Monica High School, and I know what Pali's rivalry with Venice is like. So, um, wanting to beat them was always at the top of my list. So, definitely losing a heartbreaker to Brentwood in overtime, but losing to Venice and losing out on the league championship is probably number one.
No, I wouldn't. Couldn't agree with you more. And then, seeing that we lost by a total of 4 points, between Brentwood and Venice is just like, oh my gosh. I mean, both games were wonderful. 30-33, and then 45-44. I mean, just some hard. That's what you call some dogfight games right there. The boys were battling on both sides, and unfortunately, we came out on the losing end on both of those. And like you said, it did cost us the Western League, but we play to live again, and so just a few more questions as we kind of transition from the regular season into the playoffs. Um, what surprised you this season, especially during the regular season, about how well your team played through everything, through the ups and downs? You had injuries and everything like that. So, just kind of, were there any surprises for you that kind of, stand out as you reflect on the regular season?
To be honest, I mean, I expected at least some offense to play the way we are. Scoring 39 points a game. Maybe I didn't expect almost 40 points a game, but I knew we could score at any time when we want, at any moment and play. If we play fast and played our offense, I felt like we could do it. Um, Defensive wise, we knew what we had. Um, we obviously we did. There's a couple things we need to shore up, but going into the season, we knew what we had. We knew what we could do, and I mean, we've done pretty much everything we wanted to do. We're 8-2. We thought we would go undefeated. That was a shock. Losing two games, but overall, we felt like if we give ourselves a chance, we could be in the open or where we are right now, and a high ranking in Division One, and um, I feel good where we are. So there's really no surprises for me.
Sounds cool. Yeah, I mean, your team again, played well on both sides of the ball. Offense scored a heck of a lot of points. You had so many weapons throughout the season, and defense played as well as defense could. They did well in certain games, and then they didn't fold. I don't definitely want to say that they folded, but they just played really really hard. I know a lot of the games, especially those two losses, they were on the field for a tremendous amount of time, which might have contributed to their inability to kind of play at their full potential because the length that the amount of time that they spent on the field. But no, I mean, you guys, the coaching staff, you guys each week put together a wonderful game plan, and for the most part, the boys were successful. They did what they needed to do. So, again, congratulations, on a wonderful, wonderful season. Now, let's go ahead and hop into just recapping our final game, our senior night. First of all, senior night, just some reflections about, the pregame stuff for senior night. I think we honored, I think it was like 20 something boys that were honored. So kind of talk a little bit about the seniors, and I think you had even said that you're going to have the seniors play on both offense and defense. Those first drives. So just kind of talk about some of the emotions that you experienced during senior night this past Friday.
Technically, this was my first senior night. Last year, obviously, we didn't get a senior night, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I thought it was awesome ceremony. Um, Anytime you get to honor the kids that have been given heart and soul to the program for 4 years or however many years, it's always a good thing to do. So I felt it was organized. It was great to honor the football team and the cheer team who comes out every week and churches on. So to be able to honor them as well was awesome. And we started all our seniors as many as we could on both sides of the ball. So a few of those guys who maybe didn't get to play a lot during the season, who were seniors, got a chance to play the first series on offense and defense, and they did a great job. Desmond Russell did a great job at cornerback. Made a couple tackles and he was up, posing and having a great time. And Armani, who doesn't get to play much, he's played a little bit in the last couple of weeks on defense, but mostly on offense. Got a couple catches. That was good to see. And then Aiden Diaz, who hasn't, I don't think he's caught a ball the 2 years on varsity, caught two passes and a touchdown. So I was super thrilled for him to be able to do that on senior night. So it was just a way to honor all the seniors as much as we could. Especially for those who don't get to play much, and hopefully they have a lasting memory of last Friday.
No, it was awesome, and you mentioned Desmond, his parents and I, my wife and I, we've known them since I've known him since he was born, right? So him and my daughter, they actually started because his parents, Desmond's parents, and I, we taught at the same school, and
Right.
so they had childcare, and so I have this picture somewhere in our archives where Desmond and Samaya and some of the other kids, are standing kind of at the door of the daycare, just kind of looking at,
Yes.
what's going on. So I was kind of excited for him and that hit, and just to see him, because he was just like, all right, when he started playing JV, he came in late. Right. And so this was right before, a couple of years before you hopped on the scene. And he was just like, I want to play with football. What do I need to do? And so, we made some phone calls and, he just out there playing football. He was just
Right.
a part of a team. He wanted to have that sense of belonging. And so just to see him
Right.
come this far, not playing that much, but, still being a part of the team, being part of the team that's going to help, go through the practices each week and all that kind of good stuff. So it's just good to see him. And then the last young man you mentioned with the touchdown catch, I even heard him on the sideline. He was just like, man, senior night is, I think he's like, bro, I think this is my first touchdown or first, I think it's the first touchdown catch all season or, since
Yeah.
I've been at Pali. So just to hear those guys talk about, their experience on senior night kind of made, it made sense, right? It made sense. And just to see them happy on the sidelines, kind of geeked and stoked, making plays, contributing to the football team kind of made it that much sweeter. So congratulations to all of the seniors. And we look to have those kind of times, those special moments, and even the cheerleaders as well. They're not graduating for another, I think I put in my post, 27 weeks, because you still got the rest of this semester and then you got next semester. So we want to give them their flowers right now. And so tremendous support for both the cheerleaders and the football squad. So just a wonderful, wonderful night. And then, since you were talking about, you played some of the players who normally didn't get any run during the season. It kind of looks like, Coach, because I was trying to figure out, okay, is he starting some of the starters didn't get any, a lot of running time or a lot of playing time. And I'm thinking that you did that on purpose, because they kind of, you kind of lax and, kind of happy, jovial. You weren't as intense like I normally see you, but I think you were kind of feeling the moment, letting the boys play. But I realized that you didn't allow the regular starters. Was that by design? Seeing that we're moving into the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, I told him even no matter what, I was going to start the singers and kind of see what, how the game flowed. If the singers were doing a great job of moving the ball, I was going to keep them in for the whole drive. If we were struggling or I felt like, we had to kind of move on, I told them, they'll just be ready to go in whenever. But like I said, the singers did a great job. I mean, even Reginald, who literally hasn't played a single receiving down all season, caught the first play of the game, passed the game. So, like I said, I want to honor those guys, but I just want to see how the game was going. Once we were up 35-0 in the first quarter, I told the starters, I was like, I'm just going to play you guys sporadically, let these guys who haven't, played much get some run. And, you don't want to get anybody hurt in that type of situation. Anything could happen, in a freak accident. You just never know. So I told them, I need you guys for the playoffs. Let everybody, all the singers have their moment. You guys will get your time in the playoffs and, go from there. And they were happy with it. They were supportive. They were wearing our headsets on the sideline. So it was good to see them not be, boo-hooing on the sideline because they weren't playing. They were cheering the other guys on, happy for everybody, having fun, joking around. So we haven't had that in a while. So it was really good to see.
No, it was good to see. And, the guys, the starters who had the headsets on, deep into the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, they were excited. They didn't seem like, oh man, I need to get an extra touchdown to kind of pad my stats or whatever. They, they were happy. And, like you said, they were supporting those other players who normally don't get any run. And so, I'm just looking at some of the receiving stats. King Demetrius had one receiving for 25. Max had 3. Henry had 1. Harrison had 2. Omani had 2. Adon had 2. Augie had 1. I think you said Ricardo. Is that his name? Ricardo?
Aiden Diaz had 1, 2. I don't know if Ricardo might have had 1. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, yeah, he has 1 for yards. So I mean, it was kind of spread out, and that's to your point about letting the seniors play and throwing in a mix of some of the regulars as well. So they were kind of happy. Same thing with the rushing. You normally let Harrison do his thing. He only had 3 carries for 35 yards, but heavy dosage of Devron. He was doing his thing, and then it looks like Nico when he when he got in and tried to play, or he played when he played QB, he had a -1 yards. But to your point, the boys were happy, and of course they got out to a 28-0 lead in the first quarter. So once you do that against Hamilton, I don't want to say you can write the game off as a win, because anything can happen. The boys still have to play, but they were in a much more festive mood throughout the rest of the game. I'm looking at the scoring. We scored 7 points in the second, 7 in the third, and then 0 in the fourth because they had that running clock. So no, it seemed like the boys are having a good time. You were having a good time. It was a fun contest by everyone. So just some of your final thoughts on playing Hamilton, and then I have one follow-up question after that as well.
Yeah, it's it's tough to play a team like that. You know you can score anytime you want. You want to give everybody a shot, but at the same time, and I told the coach after the game, he said, thank you for not running the score up. And I said, it's about the kids. It's not about, it doesn't do us or anybody else any good to score 80 points. Like I said, the kids were having fun. Everybody got out healthy on both sides. Um, just it's about sportsmanship to me, and that's what I told the coach. And as long as we get out healthy, everybody's having fun, and both sides are good. I told them as I respect the team. They came out, they could have, folded after 28-0, but they played to the end, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you what was your conversation like with the Hamilton coach, Coach Asante, I believe is his name. I did see him kind of suited and booted with his shirt and tie. I think he even had a sports coat as well. But yeah, I was just kind of interested in knowing, kind of what that conversation was about. But you just told us, you just kind of gave us the goods. So, I can move on from that question. I know that he expected a coach, and he's trying to turn the program around. And it's kind of hard because you're right there with university, us, we're there. Um, um, Goodness gracious. Fairfax is close by. Venice is close by. You got Culver City and some of the other schools, some of the other private schools. So it's kind of hard to compete for, almost like the same pool of guys. You got a charter school right down the street. They don't necessarily have a football team, but it's a school nonetheless. So it's kind of hard to pull, players, good players, to kind of make up your team. But, hats off to Hamilton for coming out and playing a wonderful game and, not folding and, trying to, score some points. And, I think they fought to the very end. They weren't trying to, just lay down for y'all or for us, but they really seemed like they really wanted to play and, try to score some points. So, it was a wonderful, wonderful way to finish up our regular season. So let's go ahead and move beyond Hamilton. And so we're ranked number 11 in the city. We finished, or we have the 5th seed in Division One. So, Coach, for those who don't know about the different divisions, can you kind of explain for our viewers what the open division is, and then what divisions 2 and 3 are for those who are not familiar with high school football in the Los Angeles area?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last question? The last part? Sorry.
Yeah. Just wanted you to see if you can, for our viewers who are not, privy to what's the difference between the open and Division 1 or 2. Just kind of explain to our viewers what the difference is with the different divisions.
So open division is the top 8 teams in the city. So this year we have the point system, Cal Preps, and the city ranking. I can't remember the name of it, but they use 2 different systems, and they go off points. Strength of schedule, strength of victory, and head-to-head on tiebreakers, stuff like that. So the top 8 teams get ranked, and they're in the open division. And then the next 16 teams that are ranked are in Division 1. Then the next 16 are in Division 2, and the next 16 are in Division 3. And then I think there's maybe 5 to 10 teams that don't make the playoffs. So that's basically how it's ranked, just how you finish in the city rankings, and then they rank you within those divisions.
Now, thank you, Coach. Now, how satisfied are you with the going into the Division 1 with the 5th seed? Are you satisfied, or do you kind of like where you are? Would you like to play it in the open? Just kind of some of your reflective thoughts about where you are in the Division 1 playoff bracket.
I told the team, it doesn't matter where we are. We got to go through every team in the division. So it doesn't matter if we're ranked 1st or 16th. We still got to go through some of those teams throughout. Now the only difference is we get a home game. The higher ranked teams get home games. So we're 5th. We get an opening round game. So depending on who loses next week, we could either go to North Hollywood or Granada Hills, who will come to us. So we could possibly get another home game. But as far as where we're ranked, like I said, to me, it doesn't matter. We gotta go through all those, some of those teams anyway to get to the championship. Eagle Rock's a good team who's ranked number one. We're gonna have to see them no matter what side of the bracket we are. My hope is that we see Venice in the finals again. So, but no, I love where we are, and I love the teams that we're playing. It's going to give us a challenge, but they're all winnable games. And, just not a team that I see on there that I feel like it's going to be like, oh my gosh, they're going to overwhelm us. They're going to give us a challenge, but they're, like I said, I think we can compete with every single team in that bracket.
Yeah, so I'm displaying the top half of the bracket. So we're in the bracket with Eagle Rock, Crenshaw, Cleveland, Bell, Palisades, Southeast, Granada Hills, and North Hollywood. So, it's a winnable bracket. And then, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the other part of the bracket. So you have Venice, Franklin, Marquez plays against King Drew, Westchester, Huntington Park, and then Roosevelt and Kennedy. So, we've had experience with Roosevelt, we've had experience with Westchester, and we've had experience with Venice as well. So, and if it plays out, like Coach said, we could play Venice in the final bracket in the championship part of the bracket over here. But that would just mean that we would have to keep winning, and for us to do that, our team would have to play well. So let me ask you, Coach, what do you know about Southeast? What kind of offense and defensive schemes are they running? I know we've played against the wing tee and them running or teams running, and then we've played against a couple of teams that kind of mixes it up with the pass and the run. So what kind of team offensively is Southeast, and then how will you plan to play them, to defend them on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, they do a mixture. I mean, they run the ball. I think they're not probably, but they're more run heavy than pass. They have a really good running back and receiver. They actually kind of use him the same way we use Harrison. So we got to keep him out of the open field because he'll kill us with his speed, like he's done to every team I've watched. We have about 8 different games on him, and every single game I've watched, once he gets in the open field, he's dangerous. So we just got to make sure he doesn't get in the open field and use his speed against us. So I mean, if we can contain him, and they have another receiver who also plays corner, who has some decent speed. They had a couple good big D linemen right in the middle that I feel like if we can get outside and use our speed, they won't give us any trouble. But they got a couple good athletes. Size wise, they got a couple good D linemen who are big boys. I would probably compare them. I would say to Roosevelt a little bit as far as their size and just having a couple good athletes that they like to get the ball to. But they're no they're not better than I think any other team we've seen all year. Nobody we can't handle.
Yeah, so just a couple of basic stats. They're known as the Jaguars, and Southeast is actually in the Southgate area. So it looks like they finished their record with 6-3. They're the Jaguars. So you got the Dolphins going up against the Jaguars, and team scoring averages. We're averaging about 40 points a game. They're averaging right at 30 points. So, there's a 10-point difference. And then, Coach did talk about, some of their weapons. And I kind of noticed that as I was perusing some of their Max Preps profile. Just, it looks like they like to run a little bit. So hopefully our defensive guys can, be at the ready and tackle, not arm tackle, but, wrap up and, do that containment. Here's some stats for team stat comparison. Rushing yards per game, heavy dose of that, 245. We're averaging about 140. Passing yards per game, we're averaging 225. They're averaging 130. Receiving yards, 224 for us, 128 for them. Total yards per game, 375 for them, 369 for us. So again, those yards, it's very, very close. And then you can see the tackles. The tackles are, almost exactly the same, 69.6 and 69.0. We're not doing a whole bunch. Neither team is producing a whole bunch of sacks, so that's good. And again, you see the point total again. So you see some of their guys, and I think Coach was talking about this gentleman rushing, Edward Rivera.
Yes.
We got to find a way to stop Edward.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
gotta
as you can
stop Eddie,
see.
'cause
Yeah.
Eddie can get it going. Looks like he's rushing 184 yards per game.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
That's a lot.
like I said, every game I watched of him, he was in the open field and he was running away from everybody. So we have to contain him.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're not doing a whole bunch of passing. Our passing attack has Jack Thomas doing his thing, averaging 224 yards. And Eduardo Parra is averaging 96 yards. So we can see it right off the bat. If you know how to look at data, they're not doing a whole bunch of passing. They're doing a boatload of running. So our guys have to be ready to stop, contain, and wrap up instead of trying to get these arm tackles. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderful game, and so we want everyone to come out there. Then again, you see some of their record breakdown in terms of overall league, non-league, head-to-head. We've this is our first time playing Southeast. We've never played them before. We played Southgate, we've played Garfield, we've played Roosevelt a few times each, and so. Yeah, this is our first time playing Southeast, so it'll be interesting. And of course, being at home, we get that home field advantage. They get to come over to that wonderful stadium by the sea. What is it for you? What does it feel like just to have home field advantage on the playoff? Playoff like this to begin the playoffs. Just reflective thoughts about being, playing at home in the stadium by the sea.
Well, I mean, we get to stay in our own rhythm. I think when we get away, we kind of get away from what our normal practice time is, walkthroughs and everything. So we get to be at home. We get to have our team meal at the same time. We get to have our normal walkthrough at the same time. Everything is the same. So being on the road, everything's rushed. Now we get to take our time, do our normal routine, and the kids are comfortable. So I'm hoping, this is my first home playoff game. So I'm hoping, we get a lot of fans to come out and the atmosphere is great. So it's a great game last year. Obviously we didn't win it, but I'm hoping being at home, it's a different outcome.
Yeah, no, hopefully, and historically, when we have the home games, you're gonna see a lot of, excuse me, you see a lot of fans, but mostly, the parents and the grandparents, aunts, uncles, dads, you're gonna have a lot of that, and so hopefully the school can, do a great job, do an awesome job of hyping it up, so that we can have our true home field advantage. Hopefully, the band will be there, all the regular folks, the cheerleaders, they all come out and cheer and roar and rah. Hopefully maybe the dance team will come out and dance and perform, maybe the band to cheer, or maybe the band to play at halftime. So yeah, we want all the good stuff. We want to make sure it's similar to a regular football game. This is win or go home. I think, Coach, you want to keep winning, correct?
Yeah, I told the team, I said, we got another half of football to go. So I'm hoping to keep that up. We got 5 more games to go. So, we played 10, we got another half a season left in us. So we gotta keep that rip going.
Yeah. Four wins. Let me see. If we place, let's say we beat Southeast, and then we get the quarterfinals, that's another win. We get to the semifinals, that's another win. You get to the championship, that's another win. So that's 4. And then, there's football after that, because I believe there's state championships too. So,
Regional.
it'd be great to kind of get into a state championship kind of mindset. During Thanksgiving break, no less.
A lot of people aren't happy about that, but it's our first banner. I told one of the coaches, it's like, we don't have any banners. We're the only sport on this campus with no banners in the gym. So we got to change that.
Absolutely. And it's football, and that's kind of what you signed up for. Even members of my family like, oh, what we don't get we don't get a week off. Like, no, we're in the Division One, not the Open. Now, if we're in the Open, we could have had a week off, but no, we got to keep playing. And that, which is a good thing because, you don't have that rust build up and you don't get out of your regular routine. So you're continuing to play on a Friday at home. So now we just need the boys to play and be victorious. We need the fans to come on out. We need the band to come on out and play and all that kind of good stuff, Coach. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful night this coming Friday. And it looks like the game is at 7 p.m. So you don't have to worry about a JV game before. All you got to do is come on out and get your ticket and all that kind of good stuff. Now, speaking of JV, they had a wonderful season. Are you guys bringing up any players from the JV squad to participate on this playoff squad this Friday?
Yeah, so I offered a lot of the sophomores and one of the freshmen an opportunity to practice with us. We only have about 3 or 4 jerseys, so not all of those kids will be able to suit up with us. But, a lot of them jumped on the opportunity. They just want to be a part of it. And, I told them, it's an opportunity to get us better at being scout team players. You'll still get the speed of the game. If you're able to be on the sideline on the game, you'll see how things work and how we, do things throughout the playoffs. So, when they do come up and we make the playoffs, hopefully next year, they already know how things go, because a lot of those guys are going to be on varsity anyway. So it gives them a leg up on, how we do things so that there's no surprises, no shock. And hopefully if they're on the sidelines, they can see how things are run. And, it's just trying to develop them to be the next leaders next year. And then the next group comes up and they can teach them how to, how things work. So it's just a process that we always want to continue. And I think we brought up about 10 kids, which is good for us, mostly on defense. But I think we only had 2 guys on offense, but mostly on defense. 3 guys on offense, like the 7 or 8 on defense. But, today was a good practice. They gave us a really good look, and they didn't slow us down, which is, the scary part about JV and bringing guys up in playoffs when things speed up even more. So it was a good day. I feel good about tomorrow and Wednesday when we even ramp it up even more. So I think it'd be a good experience for all of them.
No, that's awesome. Tradition. It's a tradition to bring up, JV players. Kind of makes us look a little bit larger. Especially when you face a team like we did last week, Hamilton, which probably had about, I think I counted maybe, a handful of guys. So they had 11 on the field, and they probably had maybe close to 20 guys total. It wasn't a whole bunch. It wasn't a whole bunch. So, when Pali, hops on that field, and stretches and, we got some big dudes from, we already got Cole. I know Cole, he didn't play. I was like, Cole, why you didn't suit him? Oh, man, Coach, I got an ankle. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, I'm going to save for the playoffs. Cool, not a problem. And so, when our squad, luckily this time we don't have to get off a bus. All we have to do is hop on the field, and we got like 50 guys, 60 guys just warming up. That kind of does, has some kind of intimidation factor besides the fact that we're playing at home. That kind of adds to the lure of, being a road team, and you gotta get up just a little bit more for these guys. So it's a good look. And, it's a wonderful tradition to bring up the JV players up to varsity to kind of see what it's like, get a test drive on the varsity.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Now, just don't slow us down. Just keep up, ask questions, and that's what they're doing. And Coach Henry, it's teaching the younger guys on the side. So just as I'm doing my offense, he's in the back, getting guys, teaching them where to go and what the route is and what the reads are. So it's a group effort, and the kids are really soaking it up.
Absolutely. Man, so this, that was all my questions, man. My cheat sheet is right here. I'm down all my chicken scratch, and so I've exhausted all of my questions, man. So, one fact here. Let me see if I can get it in the frame here. So, interesting fact. I am wearing a 2017 playoff shirt for Pali when we were in the. This was probably Sir's. This was Sir's final season because he graduated in 2018. So this was their playoff shirt, and so me, I kept it in. I keep all my Pally shirts in nice, and it's not worn. You know, every now and again. So this is a 7-year-old shirt because this is what 2024.
Yeah. That's 7 years ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
So I've been around the block just a little bit. Just a little bit. Coach, any final words? I'd like to give you the final words before we have you hang out in the green room to the end of the show. But any final words to close up this particular interview? Any words you want to say to those folks who are going to watch a little bit later on, or just give us some good final words, Coach.
I think the boys are ready to start this run for this trophy. Like I said, today they had a great practice, a lot of energy. They were focused, not a lot of mistakes today in practice. So I think you're going to see the kids play Pally football the way we've been trying to play all season long. We watched a lot of film, and we're going to continue to watch film the next couple of days. So I think the product on the field is going to be something everybody can be proud of. And like I said, I hope everybody comes out. We need the noise. The boys need the support. When it's loud in the stadium, the kids just step it up another level. So if we can get whatever you want to bring to make noise, let's do it, and bring that trophy home in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's bring some noise. Let's bring some energy. That's what we want to bring, some energy. I know we're going to have the DJ there. He's been there all season. And so we just, we need for our cheer squad to come on through. We need the band to come on through and, dance team or whatever, just come on out. Just fans to come on out, support, student body. Come on out. Let's have some fun. Let's cheer on our Pally football Dolphins at the world famous Pally High, right? The stadium by the sea. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful game. Kickoff is at 7:00. And again, we play against Southeast, the Jaguars. And hopefully we can match their energy and come out victorious. So just come on out, everybody. Coach, I appreciate you hopping on. Do me a favor, just hang out in the green room, and like we normally do, I'll wrap up the show, and then we'll come back and chalk it up at the very end.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So here we go. So yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful time. 10 weeks of Pally football. I told the parents, they're like, look, once we get started, man, it's going to fly by. For those seniors, maybe we'll do a show. We'll just have some of the seniors come on, and there's a lot of football left to be played, and man, we just want our boys to be victorious this coming Friday, 7:00, Stadium by the Sea at world famous Pally High. We play against Southeast, the Jaguars, who are coming from Southgate, and they have some weapons. We have some weapons, and we want you to come on out. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful football game this coming Friday. All right. Other than that, again, I appreciate Coach Smith for hanging out with me for a couple of minutes as we, reminisce, reflect on the season, and preview this wonderful football game that is about to happen this coming Friday. Other than that, I am Mr. Riley, or commonly known as Facebook James, coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thank you for watching. Let's see. Thank you for watching. We'll see you Friday. And of course, go Pally. Thanks for watching. Good night, y'all.